everyone. Welcome back to our weekly wellness podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Rebekah Zahedi, and today we have joining us Dr. Rodney, who's our Director of Wellness and Personal Growth. So thanks so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good. So today we're going to talk a little bit about wellness kind of on an organizational level. So kind of big picture topics surrounding wellness and how that impacts, organizations as a whole and why that's important. So I guess, just to kind of dive right on in, I know we learned a lot more about you in a prior podcast episode and kind of your background, your passion for wellness. So tell us a little bit more about your current role at My Pets Wellness and what all is involved with that.
Okay. Well, thanks for asking. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I've been here since last June, so quite a while. When we started this, when Brock Leach came to me and talked to me about the opportunity, we had a plan. The plan is constantly developing. Because we're kind of inventing it as we go along. But there are some key pieces to it that we're probably going to stay consistent with. First of all, I develop assessments that if staff members would like to take them, it's a way for them to find out more about themselves. The assessments have nothing to do with their employment here. It's just, it might reveal to them some areas of their life that they might need work on. And it's just something that I talk with the two of them and then it's forgotten. It's one of the ways that we support them personally, because if they took those assessments on their own, it would be like at least $1,500 to $2,000.
Oh, wow.
And they don't have to pay anything for them.
That's great, yeah.
So that's one of the areas that we go. I also am doing this monthly focus on some aspect of wellness. I also talk to individuals at the corporate level and even at the local veterinarian hospital level, whether it's a corporate staff or a veterinarian or a clinician at the vet hospital that's kind of struggling with something in their lives. And again, it's all just like a personal thing. It's not any part to do with their overall employment. It's just helping them get through tough times. And especially since at the corporate level and at the local hospital level, it's a very stressful industry. It takes a lot of time, a lot of passion, it's a lot of stress. And so every once in a while, people just need to have somebody to talk to. So currently I'm taking on that role. We're finding, however, that doesn't scale well, if you know about scale. As we get larger and larger and larger, I possibly can't deal with all that. So another thing that I'm working on right now is that developing resources that I can direct them to outside of myself, because I can't cut myself into more than 2 or 3 pieces. So other services, but they would talk to me and I can identify what might be helpful, and I'm going to send them to those resources because I can't alone to be that for everybody. But of course, always, if somebody's in an urgent need, I would step in and do that. We're also, other aspects of this is, it's not only wellness to the individual. We want to have a balance between their home life, their work life, and their personal life. We believe in that balance being maintained. So I kind of work with them on that. I'm also responsible for their personal growth. Like if we uncover something and they need to make some changes, I'm there to guide them on that path on how to make those changes, maybe to get rid of some of the deficiencies, perhaps even in their way they approach work, the way they manage time, the way they deal with conflicts at the local hospital level between the vet and the rest of the staff, and they don't know how to do it. And that's an area of expertise that I have, so I can walk them through now. This is how you need to approach this person. So I'm just that resources person, looking out for the overall wellness of everybody here at My Pets Wellness.
That sounds really comprehensive.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it sounds like you really have a good grasp on our staff and kind of the needs at an organizational level and also at an individual level.
Right.
I know you also facilitate weekly wellness rounds for veterinarians out in the community. So even beyond our internal staff, it's great. We have these wellness rounds that are run every Thursday where any veterinarian, any technician is able to join, and basically you're on those. You facilitate and
I'm on those, and Dr. Jason, our medical director, is usually able to come. You're there sometimes too.
I'm there too.
But that's another important part because, since you've been on some of them, we just talk about any and every subject that might come up that a veterinarian or technician is struggling with.
Yeah.
And we offer support, and we offer ideas, and we bring comfort and direction to those people. Yeah. And we never know exactly where it's going. However, we're kind of changing that and going in a little bit different direction so that each week we'll actually have a specified topic. Yeah. And then if other issues come up, we'll go there. But I really enjoy doing that. And it's always refreshing to me when there are more people than just My Pet's Wellness people that attend.
Absolutely.
And they love it just as much. And so it's kind of reaching out to others who don't have a resource like that to turn to.
Exactly. And I think it's wonderful to have a resource such as yourself who's able to give so much of yourself to the organization. Yep. I think that's amazing. What are some of the things that you're doing to, kind of improve or expand upon the culture of the organization, just on a big picture scale?
Well, the culture that we're trying to develop is a close knit community of people that not only work professionally, but that care about each other.
Right.
We spend a lot of time trying to develop that care and concern for each other that goes way beyond that this is my job and you have your job.
Right.
When something is happening, either at a local veterinary clinic or here at the corporate office, we support each other, give group hugs as appropriately to do so.
COVID safe.
And we can cry together and laugh together because that's all part of developing that community because it's part of the larger culture that we're trying to develop. And I love that part of it too. And especially here at the corporate offices, I think we've achieved that pretty well, that care and concern for others. So that's one of the things that we're trying to develop.
Yeah, and I think a large part of that is due to your influence, having that rapport and building that community. Right. So I think that's really inspiring. What do you see as the value of having a mental health professional on staff? What do you think the add is organizational wise, and then also, on an individual basis?
So this is this part of the story. So when I was first talked to about this by the CEO, I said, that sounds like a cool opportunity. And he said, you come up and tell me what you think you do. Well, I didn't know where to start. I'd never heard of a wellness director at a business or corporate level. I really hadn't. I know that some businesses hired therapists or stuff like that, but this is a little different category.
Yeah.
So I started doing research and I found out that this is actually a current trend in a lot of corporations, a lot of large businesses.
That's great.
Because they found out that most of their employees need these resources. And those resources, when pursued out in the community, can be very expensive, and a lot of their employees can't afford those. So in order to take care of their employees, they're doing these wellness programs. And I started going on Indeed and looking for directors of wellness, and the whole list starts coming up, which was kind of interesting. And a lot of opportunities out there that businesses are looking for these type of people. So it's a current trend. And I think it's partly driven by the fact that we've gone through a very difficult time in the last year or 2 years or even more. And there's a lot of mental health issues that are coming up, a lot of stress and anxiety as a result of things like the coronavirus. The mental health issues are definitely rising. I mean, I could have a job for a very long time if I went to out in the real world, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah. Because everybody's stressed out and under pressure and anxious. And so I think the businesses in general, the corporations, are realizing that they can't always assume that their employees can find those resources that are affordable to go to. So, but what better way to show attention to and care of an employee by providing those same services in a more efficient way and at a lower cost to the individual. It just comes to the cost of the corporation. So that's I think you're going to continue to see that definitely growing. So,
I was going to ask, I know you mentioned it seems like it's a current trend. And, I would say 5, even 10 years ago, I don't think that was something that was really on the radar. Do you anticipate that that's going to continue in the future and even maybe, continue to grow, not just
I absolutely
present?
think it will. I can't pinpoint in my research where it kind of started, but it has been definitely within the last 5 years,
Right.
Maybe even 2 to 3 years, and with what we're all still dealing with. And hopefully we're near the end or whatever, but still the repercussions of the last year or two are going to go on and on and on.
Yeah.
And it's not only in the virus sector and the medical sector, it's in the political sector, it's with schools and children not being able to go to schools. In clinical terms, at the clinical level, we're talking about how is this going to impact those children and even the mothers, some of who had to give up their jobs and now they got to find one again, and will they be able to make that transition? So the repercussions of the last couple of years are going to go on for many, many years.
Yeah, those ripple effects.
And so there's going to be a growing need for this, and corporations are going to have to do something to look out to the needs of those employees and their families that are in desperate straits, or they're not going to be effective employees.
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
Well, and I think it's safe to say that even before COVID, that these resources were really needed, in all of these different industries. So if COVID is the impetus that, brings more awareness to this and has more industries incorporating it, maybe there's a little bit of silver lining there.
Yep.
So perfect. Well,
okay, thank you.
I appreciate all your insight. It's been great talking to you as always. Don't forget, for y'all at home, like, comment, subscribe. You can also find us on Spotify, and then feel free to visit our website, mypetswellness.net/DVM support for those wellness rounds we were chatting about and for additional wellness resources that you can utilize. Thanks, y'all, and see you next time.
Bye.